How does it get like this? How does it get like this? When I was in college, it there was nothing like that on college campus. And I was in college. I graduated in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. I was in college going up to the aughts, and it was not like that on my college campus at all. There, no one ever would have allowed anybody to live in fear of anybody else. I just remember because I edited our paper, our school paper. And I remember when in fall, in September, when everybody's back on campus, they had the, oh, what is it? It was in the quad where all of the groups and everybody, they would have like a day, like it was like a 2 day event where students could walk through the quad and they could see all the groups and figure out what they wanted to join, et cetera, et cetera. Every group got along. It was the opposite of PCU, the movie with Jeremy Piven, which I did find streaming. I shared that link with Lorraine, by the way, who's handling the YouTube discussion. And it's because you can't stream it, you can't find it anywhere. But everybody got along. Like you had, I don't remember what one group. There was one group that all the groups got along. There was a Jewish group that got along with the Muslim students group, and you could learn, like, that's where I learned Assalamu alaikum, all that. Everybody got along. Everybody got along. Literally everybody got along. This is new, where everybody has been conditioned to hate each other. It's all about destabilization. I was telling Kane when I was in elementary school, and I just now realized this, we learned Hanukkah songs right along with Christmas songs. Now, there were more Christmas songs that we learned. Of course, there were a lot of Christmas songs written by Jewish people. But we sang, as part of our Christmas recital, we sang Hanukkah songs. And nobody ever thought any differently. The only thing that kind of, rubbed me the wrong way was, I'm like, you get 8 days of presents. That seems like it's not fair. And Kane and I were talking about this because our friends who were Jewish were saying, well, they're like little things. Yeah, but you get 8 days of them. I had a friend who got a slap bracelet one day. Remember the slap bracelets? Were those actually made of measuring tape?
Could have been.
Someone told me they were actually made of measuring tape, but you'd slap them right on your wrist. Anyway, and I can't remember. I don't remember what one of the songs, what it was called, but it was when Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. We'll celebrate the season by dancing the hora. H-O-R-A, I think it was. 8 days of joy on this holiday. Every day for 8 days, children will play. I remember all of these songs. No, I think they're talking about a dance. It's a specific dance, but I don't know what the dance is. We learned that song. I learned that song in school. I still remember it now. We sing it every year for our Christmas recital. That was a part of for our Christmas recital. And then we sang the dreidel song, and then there was another one that we sang. But that nobody batted an eye. Like, nobody thought anything differently of it. Nobody had to sign a permission slip. Everything was treated like, oh, these happen at the same time. There was no one has to compete with the other. There's no animosity, nothing like that. It's just how it was. And nobody had a problem with doing all of it. It was fun. We had our big Christmas recital, and they had candy and punch at it. It was, it was nice. Now everything sucks because everybody made it so. They made it miserable. That's the thing that bums me out. Like, I feel like my kids will never know how cool it used to be because everything just blows. What a horrible time. What a horrible time to come of age. Everything is horrible, and everything you do is forever documented by the matrix of social media. And everybody's parents let them on social media. They just allow them to be on it. My kids were not allowed to be on social media. Now that they're in college, I think one of them does like Snapchat, but they don't really get on it they don't have Twitter, and they don't have Facebook, and they don't do they don't get on it. I think that also contributes to this too, because I feel like it allows stupidity to fly more freely unfiltered, but it wouldn't be a problem if people were educated. But see, here's the multi-prong effect of this cultural warfare. You have, I think, universities making people dumber. I told you the other day, a very good friend of mine who his name's Van, and he has a website called Blogodidect. It's a play on autodidactism. And he had a very fantastic deep dive on the importance of grammar and how it's not people being like grammar nerds and things like that. It's, we used to be we had so many choices to so eloquently and articulately express ourselves and to assert a very friendly disagreement without running the to the limit of offending someone. And now it's like everybody's been made so purposefully stupid and our language has been so dumbed down that we can't even express disagreement, and then emotions fly and everyone takes everything personally, and it's just horrific. And so I thought that was really smart. And then how in colleges and universities today, honest debate is not fostered and it's not protected and it's not defended. Where are the people coming out saying, no, 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 absolutely not? If you're not smart enough to share your ideology, talk about your ideology, hear other ideas, and then defend your principles soundly while being civil and courteous, you are too stupid for debate. Sit down. Where are the people who are enforcing that at these learning institutions? That would have never have flown when I was in school. Never would have flown. I mean, I read this article the other day where they were talking about parents with, make sure your child's opinion flatter them and let them know that they are heard. And no, we're not doing that. You'll be heard if your opinion's not stupid. How about that? You don't have a right to be heard. This whole my truth, you don't have a right to that. There are so many people that have opinions all competing for shelf space in the consciousness of this society. You do not have the right to be heard. You have the privilege to be heard. You have the right to say whatever you want. You don't have the right for someone else to hear it. That's a privilege. So craft your message accordingly and earn it. That's what this means. But no one's told that because they're afraid to hurt someone's feelings. They're afraid that someone will be made to feel inadequate. And honestly, if your opinion is bad, you should be made to feel inadequate so that you improve yourself. But heaven forbid, people don't want to improve themselves because they look at that as though it's an offense. Oh my gosh, you're telling me that I'm imperfect? Yes, we all are. Get over it. Instead, what we do is we cater to this self-aggrandizement. No, you're perfect as is. There's no reason to improve anything. You're perfect. Your opinions are perfect. No, they're not. Most people's opinions are horrible. I mean, mine are brilliant, but that goes beyond saying, I'm slightly kidding. Not really. But that's I think part of the problem with this. And you're seeing this play out now in universities everywhere. Everywhere. My mom, who was a very harsh parent, thought I was a harsh parent because I just never got into all the wokery parent stuff. I'm like, if you suck, I'm going to tell you suck. If I don't think that's where your skill set is, I'm going to tell you this is not where your skill set is. I'm not doing my job as a parent by catering to the lowest common denominator of your abilities. That's the truth of the matter. That's not why God put me here. I do you no favors. I'm by not helping to illuminate your path of purposefulness. I'm not helping you. But parents today, and we're seeing this now, that's part of the problem. Now you have students' minds that are just completely seated and ready for corruption. And that's just it. We send them to these corruption factories without the ability to fight against it. It used to not be where you should have to fear somebody making an impression on your child's mind. My youngest son, who's in college now, I do not worry about this child at all in terms of ideology. I worry about everybody else. His resoluteness, I am not even remotely exaggerating. I am not at all. He is the absolute rock against which all of this breaks. He is so resolute and so strong in his principles and his position and his faith and all of that. It just doesn't get to him. And he's secure enough in knowing why he believes what he believes, that he doesn't feel the need to get nasty. He doesn't need to get nasty. Now, he will match your energy, but he doesn't feel the need to get nasty. He is not the peacemaker like my older son is. But I don't worry about his abilities or principles being compromised. In fact, every time he sees an instance like that, he becomes more resolute. And that's the kind of confidence you should have when you send your kids out. And I'm not saying, I don't, honestly, if you ask me, what did you do? I don't know. It was the grace of God that I didn't ruin him. I don't know. Like, we raised him to, we did the best of our ability, and God fixed all the errors, I guess. I don't know, all of our mistakes. I'm like, please just don't let us break this child. I don't know what we did, but whatever did, it worked. And I don't have to worry about him. I mean, he knows his own mind. He knows his own mind incredibly well. And he's got a great group of friends that are very similar. You should not feel worried about sending your kid off out of your home. Remember, what they do not learn in your home, they will learn out in the world. The world will teach them. And now you've been told that you're a helicopter parent. I get it. There's a difference between hovering and going too far, but there's also a difference in being engaged. I hate it when colleges are like, oh, don't talk to your kids for the first month. Oh, hell no, I don't think so. HAIL. That's not how Mama Dana plays it. And I have no problem in telling my kids, this isn't appropriate, that's appropriate, this is not acceptable, et cetera, et cetera. They've grown up with it. But now it's like you're supposed to entertain everything that you're supposed to entertain it and somehow accommodate it and give them room to be who they are, et cetera. Well, the part of a parent's job is to also instruct your child. I mean, you were literally called by that in scripture. So I don't know why a lot of people are thinking that they have to bend a knee to the world and allow the world to shape their kid over them. That's what this is all about. They're not saying that, oh, let your kid shape themselves. The world's saying, let us shape your kid for you. And like I said, I think all of that plays into the psychology of what we're seeing on these campuses now, because you have all these kids that have been primed. They have been primed for this corruption, this intellectual corruption. And that's what's taking place. And now we have a quasi 1930s happening again on college campuses around the country. It's sickening.